When it comes to debt, it is a mechanism that is used globally. I want to break this down so people can understand exactly what is going on here, because most people fail to see the trap that is put into place here across the board, even some of these big corporations. And what we have here is the IMF sounding the alarm on global debt again. And who is at the forefront of all this that they're pointing the finger at? The United States. Now, exactly 1 year ago, in its Global Financial Stability Report, the IMF had issued a stark warning when looking at the soaring level of private sector debt. Okay, that was the private sector. It had found that more than 20% of U.S. corporations are at risk of defaults once what happens? Once interest rates rise. And those whose earnings do not cover the interest rates, they're going to see a default. And that default across all those businesses, they said, could have reached $4 trillion. That was just the private sector. Now, do you see how it works? They get all the money in on these loans, and then they rise the interest rates on people out of nowhere, and they go into default. So, fast forward to exactly 1 year ago today, when the IMF once again sounded the alarm on debt, this time on the public side of the ledger. And warning about what? Excessive global borrowing. And they also note that with a total of $164 trillion of debt, that there's 225% of global debt toward the GDP. And by looking at other charting, you can see just throughout the years where the global debt is at, and it is at a new record high. So with all of this in play, the biggest warning that I can give everyone out there is to realize this: the world's public and private sectors are more in debt now than at the peak of the 2008 financial crisis, when the global debt and GDP had peaked at 213%. Your mainstream media is not talking about this now, are they? No, they're not. So you can go plug back into it if you want and let the real world melt away, or you can wake up and you can see what's happening here. But I wanted to let it be known this is what they're saying right now. I'm going to leave a link here with a lot more information that you can read up on, and I will update with more info as I come across it. It's been Dabu7.